This past week we published a video update about our adventures with our puppies. And in that video, two of our children, Selah and Josiah, were learning to do something for the very first time. However, I had no idea what I was teaching them to do was illegal until one of our commenters pointed it out. Once they did, we immediately took the video down, re-edited it, cut that scene out, and republished the video without that scene. However, what was it that made us lawbreakers?
Greetings, friends!
Our family sold almost everything, including our house in the city, to start a farm in the country. Join us as we share with you our adventures, while we discuss farming, fitness, and everything in between.
And don't forget, we live in a yurt too! We are Farm Fit!
Recently, we read a story about two young boys named Bud and Temple Abernathy, who made several cross-country trips. When they were 9 and 5 years old, they took their first trip in 1905 from Oklahoma to New Mexico unsupervised. And then as soon as they were done with that trip, they were planning their next trip from where they were to meet Theodore Roosevelt in New York City. And they did so. And then after that, the following year, they took up a challenge that was issued to travel from New York City to San Francisco and do it in 60 days. And if they did so, they were going to win $10,000. And they took up that challenge. Those young boys took up that challenge to travel across the country. They didn't make it in the 60 days, but they made it in 62 days on horseback. Wow! When we read this story, I was amazed. Amazed, one, by what these children were able to accomplish, not just once, but multiple times in these trips, unsupervised, and two, amazed that I had never heard this story before, that I hadn't seen a movie, I haven't seen a documentary, or anything on this great accomplishment by these young children. These boys lost their mother at a young age. This on top of Jack Abernathy, their father, was a cowboy and U.S. Marshal, and he also would catch wolves with his bare hands. I'm sure they learned so much about life, being self-sufficient, and being able to take care of themselves. I'm sure this aided them in their journeys across the country. I know they lived in a different time period than we live in now, and at the time, children were raised with the expectation of learning to become adults, and sometimes that was exploited. Sometimes children were forced to work in labor camps in ways that weren't good. But overall, the concept of teaching children to become adults is something I feel like we're going on the opposite extreme, and we're coddling our children too much and not allowing them to grow and to develop and to be able to be successful, because they can do so many things, and sometimes we hinder their growth and their development by coddling them. Too often these days, children grow up, they get to their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, and sometimes their 50s, and they're still in play mode. They really never learn to become adults. And with my children, with our children, our goal is to let them be children, but at the same time, help them, train them, teach them to become adults, to learn responsibility, to learn to be able to take care of themselves, to take care of a family, and to desire to have a family and to do things the right way, to have a sense of responsibility, that life is not just about play and pleasure, that work, responsibility, duty comes first, then play, and then enjoyment. With all that being said, what was it that made us lawbreakers? Well, I was simply trying to help my children learn to become adults by teaching them to pump gas at the gas station. Yes, I didn't leave them unattended. I was right there with them, supervising them. However, the law states that children are not to operate a gas pump. And yes, I can understand why this law is in place, because that protects the gas company from being sued if something does happen to the children and so forth and so forth. However, I stop and think, comparing it to the times that Bud and Temple lived in, in the mindset that we have now is going in the wrong direction. I know laws, and I believe in obeying the laws, and that is why we took the video down, because I do not want to break the law, and I am apologizing for breaking that law that we did, because I had no idea about it. And I believe in obeying the laws of the land as long as they don't transgress any of God's laws, and we all should strive to do that. And with all these laws, I'm reminded of Joe Salatin's book, Everything I Want to Do is Illegal. It's illegal to do this, it's illegal to do that, it's illegal to buy raw milk in some states, and it's illegal to teach your kids how to pump gas. It's almost become illegal to even be free. Our laws are taking away our freedom. So that's just a little rant that I'm on, so sorry about that. But I do understand that the laws are a reflection of the mindset of the majority. So a majority of people are going a certain direction. And I totally believe in obeying the laws of man. But there comes a time when you do need to stand up and then say, hey, this is not right, and do so in a civilized manner. But like I said, that's just a little rant of mine for today. One of the things that I try to do as a parent and try to continue to keep learning is look at other cultures, other time periods, and how they raise children, and not have the mindset of, oh, what we're doing today is the best there ever was, the best there is, because it's not. I like to look at the Amish and how their children, how self-sufficient they are, and how they participate in the workflow of family life. And other cultures, look around the world, so many different cultures, time periods, their children were so responsible. They were able to do so many things, and they were also contributing to the family in many different ways. And that's one of the things that I try to keep in mind as a parent. Well, that's it for this vlog. Let me know what you think. Let us know some of the things that you're doing with your children to help them to be more self-sufficient, to become more adults. And also, what are some of the things that your parents did with you? And one more thing before we go. Speaking of children, we're going to be releasing this week an audio version of the talk that I was a part of about gardening with kids at the National Heirloom Expo for our Patreon members. So if you want information on that, make sure you click on the show notes below to see how you can be a Patreon member. That's it for today. See you next time. Do you value the work that we're doing? If so, consider joining our Patreon team. Our patrons receive exclusive content not available on YouTube, as well as private Q&As and more bonus features. Check out the link in the show notes below.
Thanks for watching.
Feel free to leave a comment below, even if it's just to say, hey. Also, make sure you don't miss any of our new videos. So, subscribe and sign up to receive notifications each time we release a new video. Also, you may want to check out these videos right here. And also check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. See you next time.